today, Animal Interactions for your unit on ecology. Throughout the presentation, you're actually going to see some embedded links. We're going to provide those for you on My Big Campus. You'll actually be allowed to have a chance to go on there and do some different interactions or actually see some videos that involve some of the animal interactions that you're going to see here today. All right, let's begin. The first one that we're going to discuss is competition. So, what is competition? Competition is when two or more organisms fight for the same resource. So you might even want to think about basketball competitions. Everybody's going for the title. Or like football, our state football championship. That was a competition between our team and another team. We were fighting for one resource, that state championship title. The next one we have predation. What's predation? Predation is when one organism hunts another organism for food. So you can see that with a variety of different animals. A lot of you are meat eaters. So you can be considered in your own way a predator. You're out for the hunt for different food. Now, way back in caveman days, we were definitely predators. We went out and searched for the game or food or meat that we wanted to eat. You can see that here in this picture with spider and the butterfly. The spider spins a web, the butterfly lands on it, and what we end up we have a predator that doesn't even leave its home. Next, we have mutualism. Mutualism is when two species work together and benefit from a relationship. Now, usually what I like to bring up is the relationship rules. A lot of you want mutualistic relationships. When you're thinking about that boo that you have or that girlfriend or the boyfriend that you have in your life, you want a relationship that's 50-50, meaning you're benefiting from it, but you're also giving towards it. That's what mutualistic relationships are. Here we see an alligator and a bird, and what actually happens is the alligator provides protection for this bird as the bird removes different food and particles from its mouth. The next one that we have is parasitism. Parasitism is when one organism harms another organism for its benefit. Now, some of you are in some parasitic relationships. What does that mean? That means you're probably giving or you're not gaining something from that relationship. Like you see here with the tick. What you see is the tick is actually how it originally is before a blood meal. So after it eats, it actually swells up. You can also see this with fleas and tapeworms, just to name a few. Alright? So, for your homework, you're going to do research or go in and find this link on My Big Campus, and we're actually going to do the battle like Kruger. You're going to be answering the following. So the major question here is, what interactions did you see between the following from this video link? You're going to look at the buffalo and the lion, the buffalo and the crocodile, buffalo and other buffaloes, lions and other lions. Alright? Now, just in case you didn't write this down, this information again will be provided for you on My Big Campus. What you're going to want to do, look at the link, figure out these interactions, and then you'll be giving that information to your teacher when you return to class. Hope this helps.
Hi everyone, I'm Miss Davenport, and today we're going to continue our lesson on animal interactions and talk about some other ways that animals can interact with one another. First of all, though, I want to remind you of something. The video we watched yesterday had this homework assignment at the end, so by now you should have already watched this video, and actually we watched it in class. Just remember, in the future, whenever you see an assignment like this in a video, you're going to be watching it at home, so it's going to be expected that you complete that assignment for homework. It will be reviewed in class, but it will still be graded, so just make sure that you pay attention to these points in videos in the future. So we're going to move on and talk about other ways animals interact. So one way animals interact is through courtship. Formal definition of that is behaviors to attract a mate. So nothing really complicated. It's just anything you would do to attract a member of the opposite sex. So not only do humans do this, right? You want to look nice, you want to smell good, you want to make sure you showered, you might want to try to say the right things to attract a mate. Animals do the same thing. Sometimes they have dances, sometimes they have other rituals and things that they do. For example, with swans, to show that they are together, they will actually do certain dances, and you can see when they're together, they're in a heart. This just lets other organisms know that they're together for nobody else to mess with them. So we also have territorial. If you think about a territory, it's your area, it's your space. it's where you live. So a territorial behavior is something to defend a resource. Typically that's your home, but it could potentially be something else. So we have an example here of some bears fighting over a territory of their area in the water, and it happens typically between males. It's more common than in females. And lastly, for today, we're talking about communication or pheromones. Pheromones are kind of like smells that a lot of animals, especially insects, will emit. Okay, and it's just a way to transmit a messages. This is really common in ants. Okay, so you notice, like you're at a picnic or something and you drop a piece of food. Well, you might see 1 or 2 ants there, and then 30 minutes later you see hundreds of ants. And that's because when one ant went to that, this is a burger, so burger, in that case, like you wouldn't probably drop the whole burger, but you drop a piece of it, whatever. Anyways, a piece of food, and when it goes back to the colony, it leaves a trail behind it, which is kind of almost like a smell. And the other ants, when they leave the colony, they can follow that trail to the food source. So those are some other ways that animals interact with